YouTube. Back with another Vessel Reacts, entirely based Reacts video. Let's get right into it. Today, we have a review of Black Desert in 2024. I played 100 hours of Black Desert, so you don't have to. The 2024 review. Let's check it out. My boy Nico Too Low. If you don't know who Nico Too Low is, it says 100 hours in 2024. He's played thousands of hours. One of the original Pearl Abyss, or well, at that time it was like a cow partner. Also, I don't know what year he's in, but he has black and white, so that's a good sign, right?
Hours of BDO in 2024 already, and well, this is the review. There will be chapters in the video description as well as, you know, in the timeline. So if you want to jump to the score at the very end, you can do that, or if you want to jump to different parts of the review or what we did. No,
I haven't seen this guy in years, bro. Look, he's got a little porn stash looking thing now. Look at him go. Good for you, man.
also do that. So let's get started.
Okay.
And maybe we'll...
The thing is, if I look at him at a weird angle... Okay, look. Look, man. I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, we haven't even gotten into this. And I'm gonna be real with you. You need to shave it all off, man. Because from that weird angle, you look a little... You don't grow enough on one side like you do the other, bro. And you gotta... It looks a little... It almost looks like... We'll call it the Charlie Chaplin. I don't want to say it looks like something else. Okay? And if you look at it... He's just... He's almost there, man. Went through puberty. Says, yeah, no. He's grown up. He's a grown man.
Really is.
Shave that shit, though.
It used to be a PvE and PvP MMORPG when it launched.
True.
Mainly focusing on grinding, you know, the standard Korean grinder. At the very launch of it, it had also very little cash up stuff.
All of that is wrong. I'm just kidding. No, okay, so I'm just kidding. Okay.
And well, that changed over time, obviously, as it always does, right? So
wait,
at
no.
the very beginning, or
there were
later
pets.
On, the game developed into a...
There was so much cash
PvE
shop stuff.
Grinder with a very high focus on open world. So that means the open world was very populated. There was a lot of open world PvP. There was a lot of competition on your specific grind spots, and there was a lot of competition between guilds on specific grind spots.
True.
Essentially creating an open world PvP scene, and that eventually became also a siege and node war scene, so a large scale PvP event that would occur either every other day with no...
Is there just like a group of like stock footage that everybody uses for these? I guess these are all the class videos. He has actual footage of him playing Black Desert. Why doesn't he use that?
Every Saturday for Siege.
Oh, okay, he does. There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't even kill him.
F56 almost killed me. F57 almost killed. He's killing me. Someone do something. Cut the stream.
And you're supposed to be in a fucking meme guild. Caterpillicious from Spicy says that we shouldn't troll people. We shouldn't have what a fucking white knight cut.
After watching that again, those were some
what?
Good fucking times, weren't they? Nowadays, BDO's not so focused on PvP anymore.
I'll be honest. I don't even understand what was fucking happening. He's strange. In NA, we just insult people directly. We don't use any of that wit stuff. You guys using wit? No. We go. Okay, I don't want to. No, I don't want to say it.
Open world PvP and stuff like that, and they've shifted away from that type of endgame into a more relaxed environment, meaning there is actually instanced grind spots now that you can get into every other hour. Meaning that no one can compete with you, no one can fight you, no one can gank you, you know. A lot of people find that very annoying if they just...
God bless him for admitting that it's annoying.
want to chill and relax and grind. So you can do that every other hour now. On top of that,
Oh,
everyone gets a tier 9
he meant
horse for
being
free.
ganked.
Traversing the land is very easy. Getting ganked while you have a Pegasus is also pretty hard to do. And on top of that, there's also the Magnus quest line and various other quest lines that
Challenge
help you
accepted.
progress your character. So it's much more streamlined. And on top of that, there's literal teleports on the map now where you can traverse, you know, large parts of the map with literally just a teleport. So it's a lot less about the open world, it's a lot less about the sandbox feel, but it's much more about the individual character's progression. So if you're into that, if you're a very long-term, maybe even a solo-minded player, I would highly recommend BDO still today. If you're more of a PvP, maybe more of a competitive PvE kind of player, it's probably not really your cup of tea anymore. So yeah, I think that's basically the main thing I wanted to talk about here, that the game has kind of shifted from a more PvP-centric endgame focus to a more do whatever you like and progress at your own pace, and eventually, you know, you'll get your gear upgrades.
Bro, he is so base. And he is so cooked. This was like 9 months ago. Boys. Yeah. This is before the rapture. And even he was like, it's cooked. Like, you just do whatever now. I mean, it doesn't matter, dude. This fucking. This is before they broke it all.
Although that comes with obviously one
But wait, there's more, Nico. But wait.
problem, and that is a lot of people lack meaning in all of the grind, because technically all you're really doing is you're grinding or you're life skilling just to life skill or grind faster or more efficiently. So for a lot of people, that's not enough to keep going, and that includes me. So let's first of all go into what I've even done in the 100 hours, so we kind of get an understanding what we tried out. Because the game has changed a lot over the years, and nowadays there's a couple of content pieces that haven't existed before, so obviously I wanted to try them out. If you're a completely new player, your experience will be quite different, because you will probably start on a season server, and then you will be tasked with a lot of different things, including a lot of quest lines and a lot of journals that I think are terrible early game.
The truth of the matter is you have to, like, I need to get more gear to grind faster so I can grind faster. Is essentially not just what my boy Ben James said. It's the gameplay loop of Black Desert Online right now. And maybe you can two-shot someone a little faster in Guild League. And then that's about it, because it's not gonna affect the not gonna affect RBF with all the DR kick W.
Content, I think if you're a new player, the first 100, 200 hours are actually gonna be a lot of quest lines, if you want to be efficient, that is. Obviously you can skip them in the beginning too, but also that brings me to what I've done first, which was figuring out what the hell is going on with my inventory. This is what I'm talking about. What is all this? Oh my god. This game has, well, it's an old MMO obviously, so there's a lot of items, there's a lot of buffs, there's a lot of events.
Bro, am I the only?
There's a lot of things going on, and just figuring that out took a while. So that's the first thing that I did. I basically sat around and we just figured out what kind of items I have, which ones are valuable.
It's almost
and so on. Right?
almost
then
overwhelming.
We had to figure out what kind of buffs we need to use, because that's also incredibly bloated in BDO. Just to grind, there's like a couple different buffs you even have to think about, like church buff.
To be fair, y'all, you can now get church buffs from the tent, and you could just hit one drought from wherever you are. They completely fixed all of that stuff. It still has too much item bloat, but that's just because it's a 10-year-old game. That's just not. They don't need to focus on simplifying anything else. They just need to, please fix game, pretty bitch. Please fix game. Thank you. Okay, I'm so stupid. Okay, I don't know what that was. I'm fucking stupid.
loot scroll. Your black spirit can give you buffs. You have a food buff. You have an
Fix.
elixir rotation. You could even run
You
a
fix.
perfume. You have an
Go.
alchemy stone. You have a tent buff, and then a second tent buff on top of that. Just, you know, to give you an example. You can obviously, you know, spin that even further, and you have even more buffs and more efficient elixir rotations and whatever. But just getting into that was also already confusing. Okay, so there's already the first pretty big issue, I think, but a lot of older MMOs have that, where they shower you with different items and you don't even know like what half the things are.
But you got that pin black star on, don't you, Nico? I see you, boy. I see you. But you put, but you put the pin black star. We all did. Oh, guilty. Fucking guilty. Matter of fact, give me another one. Matter of fact, give me another one, boy. Oh, let's go.
And then you pair that with that many
I want a
buffs to
pin
be
Devo now.
efficient while grinding, which can become pretty exhausting pretty quickly. Then we started grinding Star's End, Tortuga. Then I tried out Ackman Temple in the desert, which is gonna get a little bit of a new light in it, which is a new Dekia spot very soon, which is more of an endgame area. And then we tried Sakraya, the
He's
underwater
doing
area.
normal, Ackman?
And at the very end, Orcs, because I got a couple of upgrades, and I had finally had enough DP to actually grind there. Then we tried out Black.
He has some gear, so I'm wondering, why didn't he start at the Orcs? You know? Start, like, cause he did a bunch of, I guess when he came back, he did the stuff he loved, which was Ackman. It's weird.
Shrine, which is a new solo bossing mode, which was introduced last year.
Oh my
where
god.
you can actually go into different boss fights on different difficulties and, you know, fight them 1-on-1. So it's not quite gear balanced. There's still a lot of things that matter in these fights, but it's a lot more gear balanced than the rest of the game, basically. Maybe with the exception of the arena, which is completely gear balanced, but we'll get into that. So here, I had a great time fighting, well, what was supposed to be the easiest boss on highest difficulty. Turns out that my gear does matter a little bit, and it also turns out having 4,000 health isn't the best idea to do the hardest difficulty bosses with. So, you know, there's not even a window after, even if you do iframe it. Where am I? Where am I? Where?
You gotta play in remastered, buddy. You don't even get to see what's hitting you. Good fight. You failed the intelligence check. He failed the roll, you know? But he didn't. Did you see? You didn't see. He might as well have effects off if he's not in fucking remastered, boyo. No. You are too dumb to proceed. I feel like I'm rolling a nat 0.
Who's coding this? What?
I see nothing wrong with this. What he doesn't see. I don't know why I don't have my pin out. Okay. Like what he doesn't see, like he did a swiping motion, yeah. What he doesn't see is a beautiful green circle right here, and like a green arrow, or like it's purple. Maybe because you know what I mean. He might be like, I see red circles. Yeah. What about the green ones? The blue ones? See? Let's see.
Well, what was supposed to be the easiest boss on highest difficulty, turns out that my gear does matter a little bit, and it also turns out having 4,000 health isn't the best idea to do the hardest difficulty bosses with. So, you know.
Alright, I messed that up. Whatever. Let's see the attack again.
Window after, even if you do iframe it.
Surely my idol. See what I mean? He has no idea what the fuck is being casted. The giant red circle would help. That's what I mean.
This game is fucking ass. Who's coding this?
Honestly, he's right though. I feel him though. He didn't know it was a ranged attack. That's all. Honestly, it's probably his ISP.
Yes! That happened. Then we did some fishing. Oh, here it comes.
Dude, I love
Oh, yeah, I
manual
remember
fishing,
now.
but you'll make like 100 million silver an hour.
Okay, we got 3 silicons.
Dude, yeah, the noise I made
How
when I
much
hit my
money
pin
is
demo
this?
neck was not a noise of happiness. He just realized he made neck. He wasted his time.
We did some
Congratulations.
cooking. Then I looked at hunting, and I honestly thought hunting looked like a 2000s German.
Dude, why haven't they
Chicken
made
hunting
fish just
game.
worth more? You fucking idiots. Dude, if hunting looked like this, I would hunt.
So I passed on that. Then we tried it a little bit.
I would 100% hunt if it looked like that. It's way better than that. And I would play the crap. I would play duck hunt better. Better? Okay. I messed up the whole word thing, so I'm gonna hit play now.
Of PvP, but not much
Instead of making fun of him, I made fun of myself.
has changed since last time I played. PvP, by the way, you have battlegrounds, you have arenas that are
That's a
balanced.
lie.
Gear balance, only the arenas are gear balance, everything else isn't.
Did Pearl Abyss lie to him?
There is also capped sieges and node wars now, so depending on what gear you have, you know.
Oh yeah,
it'll
this
be
is a
capped,
fair
so you
class.
can't completely outgear your opponents.
All fair.
And then we also did some upgrades and enhancing, obviously. We looked at the cache, and we basically did everything.
That was fair.
So let's look at the actual review now. So starting out, as we talked about earlier, there's a lot of quests. And BDO quests, just like most Korean MMOs, are kind of terrible. And by kind of terrible, I mean very terrible. Like, if you're not interested in having like listening and following a storyline, this is just torture. I hate it. I hate every fucking storyline in BDO, every single one. I can't stand. All of them are boring as fuck and take way too long. And the worst one is the newest one, which is Land of the Morning Light, which you have to do the single solo boss fight. So I had to go through that. It took like, I don't know, 8 hours, if not longer than that.
Bro.
Jesus Christ, that was a
8 hours. I wonder if he did his Dokkaebi chest.
that was really fucking painful. Then we can also quickly talk about the journals, which are also...
Oh, okay. Tell me,
These
King.
journals are basically little quest tasks that require you to do certain things in certain areas of the map. The best way to do
You
these
did it in
is with
6?
a guide, because obviously then you can min-max it much more. And what essentially happens is these things give you all kinds of stuff. Like, they give you more
Alright,
HP,
I'm gonna do
they
it.
can also give you more AP, they give you more evasion.
Alright.
These are permanent things.
I want to expose myself in front of my YouTube video for everybody. Ah, fuck the Dokkaebi chest. Make it to where I only have to do like 2/3 of them or half of them, please. Please nerf it. I don't want to do that shit. I don't want to Dokkaebi chest. No. I tried so hard to be excited about that, and then I remembered that I have some integrity as a person. It kicked in! Bro, it kicked in at the wrong time. You know what I mean?
So you want to do these logs at some point, and again, I don't think they're great content. They're basically just, you know,
Don't
a
fucking lie to
collectible
me,
thing
Nico.
maybe, or something like that. I'm not a big fan of these. I think they're mostly just annoying to do. Same with the quest lines, but that's one of the entry barrier requirements, I guess, to really get into the game is you do all of the quest lines and you do all of the adventure logs, and then your
Oh,
character
he's
will
kind of right
feel
though.
a significant amount stronger without really getting better gear, right? Also, I want in this point in the starting out portion, there's a lot of items in this game. If you can see that right now, this is my inventory. Luckily, they added a new thing that's categories.
Did
and
he
if
make
you
a
press
new
Control
character?
F, you can also search for items, which is very helpful. But there's way too many items. Okay, I mean way too many items, and that kind of ties into the bloat of rewards as well. So if I just go to my Black Spirit save, just this amount of items from the Black Spirit Adventure, which is this annoying little dice you can see below my camera, which you can play a little mini game. There's just so much stuff everywhere, and as a new player or a returning player, this is incredibly overwhelming. They said they want to address that a little bit and, you know, combine some items into just
Oh boy, I got something for you. Don't worry, they addressed it so much. They've been spending the last 8 months, which is when this review was made, unironically, simplifying everything. So don't worry, new returning players. They're working on all that. However, if you are a veteran or an in-game player, I got some bad news for you. They may not be working on anything for you. They did promise Land of the Morning Light 2 and Dosa this year. Oh, so they're done. Let's go. Heck W. Nice 2024, y'all. Holy.
one, so there's not as much bloat, but from buffs to items to even events, and I think
Dude,
that's actually a very big
if they take away Guild League, I'm gonna be running around. I'm gonna be running around Arsha, bodying every single person I can see, going, "Is this not content?" Until I just eventually fall over. It's not gonna be pretty, yo. If they take, what are they gonna do if they take away our Guild League? That doesn't even have anything to do with the video vessel.
big point. It ties into the cash up and the pay to win a little bit. The game has a lot of handouts, and I mean a lot of handouts. So if we, for example, just look at the reward tab here, so you have your challenge tab. So if you do a separate things in the game, you get rewards for it. For example, just logging in gives me an experience scroll every day for 60 minutes.
Garbage.
You then also can combine to other things. You get loyalty, you get fail
Combined
stacks,
in the garbage.
you get all kinds of life tool items, you get some value, you get a lot of cash up items also for free.
That's like giving crack to a crackhead. They give you these things when you first join or you're coming back. Don't fall for it. He's fucking lying to you.
But there's so many things, so many handouts in the game that it even somewhat feels like.
Is my completion tab at? You want to call me out in the middle of the video? Yeah, sure. Okay. How do I even look? Where is it? Here we go. Completed 457. There's only 5 things in this game I haven't done. Alright, let's just show you. Since we're here, and one of them is this. Let's show you how much time. I have 43,336 hours. So that's about 1,805 days. I also want to point out, this is very important for when I do my review. I have not AFK'd in Black Desert Online for years, since like the beginning of the game. So when you see that amount of playtime, that is playtime. Okay. Now let's go back. Now that we know where we're at and what kind of nerd we're messing with. Okay.
They're overwhelming the actual systems in the game. What I mean by that, there's actually people who only log in for rewards.
True.
So that goes further into login rewards. As you can see, if you're a new player, you have literally 5
Don't worry. They fixed this. The rewards are so garbage now, they don't even do that. Next.
different login reward tracks. Then you have
Oh, we don't get that many.
special reward, or
Don't
whatever
worry.
it's called, where you can even buy a battle pass from, so you can get more loot. And there's another pass in when you play on the season server that gives you some stuff.
Bro, how did I never realize this is a battle pass? Am I stupid? Oh, chat, don't answer that. Someone's gonna say I'm stupid, chat. And the YouTube video. Damn it. Why did I never realize this is a battle pass? Now I'm screaming at 2 in the morning. What am... Fuck. This is a fucking battle pass. I'm so cooked. This is cooked. What the fuck? I'm like making fun of Overwatch. She fucking game sucks. Got a battle pass. And then I log in and I'm like, let me make sure I click my daily special, dog. Like, come on, Vessel.
There's so
I'm battle passing it up too.
much. Like, not to be honest, it gets even worse. So
But
a
wait,
website
there's
you
more.
call Darmoth,
Okay.
which is probably the BDO website if you're starting out in the game. That it tells
Oh, you could say, see, 8 months ago, they look, they don't give out crons anymore at these events anymore. They don't give, look, man, look, you can tell, look, see, this is why he has this, he thinks they give us stuff, chat. Look at this. Look at my arrows, man. My arrows are so good. Look at this, look. So, look at this, see the 4,000 plus a hammer? Look at this. Look at this. They don't do any of this lately. None of that. Okay? They had whole balls go by. I think he hammered he hammered a little at the ball. That was it. 100%. He hammered a little.
it gives you everything, all of the infos that you need, and it's just scrolling down here. You can see the events that are going on right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
We don't have
8,
any
9,
events going
10,
on either.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 different events going on right now. Not only that, there's also coupon codes. So as you can see at the top right here, these coupons you can actually copy, and then you go into the game, go to Adventure Support and redeem the coupon code. So you can get even more rewards from putting all of your codes in here.
Chat,
What
they
I'm
don't do
saying
this
is,
either.
there's a lot of stuff that you have to think about all the time. There's a lot of events, there's a lot of handouts, there's a lot of giveaways, there's login rewards, daily special, whatever the fuck, right? It's
Twitch
completely
drops.
overwhelming.
Kick W.
There's way too much rewards, and that kind of also a little bit takes away, in my opinion anyways, from the RPG sandbox feel. Because in an RPG sandbox, the things that you drop and that you farm are the things that you own, right?
I thought it was like for like what's the word? Aesthetic? Why did I say that like that? Okay. So aesthetic? Okay. I thought it was for like aesthetic, but like he's actually got a black and white camera. Like he low-key has a camera like from the 80s. Like he took it off his Commodore 64 and then he put it on his like P90 running like Windows, 8, or not 8, what was it? Like fucking the Windows 95? Yeah. Ooh, Windows 95. It was the good old days. And Windows 90, yeah, and then became Windows 98 later, yeah. And he's just had that camera since then. But you know what I mean? Old technology was strong. He can hit you with that camera and then put it back where it is.
But here it feels like so many items and so many things you just get handed to you. oh, you logged in today, here you have a
Dude,
box.
look at that resolution.
You can gamble with, and there's a
It is
fuckload of
Windows
things in
98.
that box, and you can literally become a millionaire in a day. Just, which isn't by the way a lot, because
I'm done. Okay, I'll
having a
stop.
lot of money in this game means you have like 100 billion, because the game is so incredibly inflated.
At this time, people had trillions of silver, and your idea of money is unfathomably wrong because, like you said, the game is so inflated. But I digress.
Too, but yeah, that's a big point, and it's
It was
very
nothing.
annoying, especially for a new player. And obviously that also ties into the item bloat and the buff bloat and all of that stuff. So it's just an older MMO, and you know, they're trying to keep you in the game with overwhelming you with the amount of rewards and stuff. So let's talk about the open world real quick. I do think the world is still very pretty, and it's a massive world too. Like BDO's world is absolutely crazy big, and well, to traverse faster, they're basically giving all of the players mounts now for free. Although I thought that was a really cool system to actually tame a horse and then train it. Then
Yeah, we
breed
just
it
skip
with
all
other
that
horses.
now.
All of that system is basically gone. You just get a Pegasus mount.
It was a cool system. I will say, I spent years trying to make just a tier 8, and I finally just broke down about a Pegasus. That shit sucked. Just take the free Pegasus. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It was cool. Yeah, if you're a life skiller and like you like doing that, more power to you. For me, I just went and bought the Pegasus. I already had the Pegasus. I went and bought the Pegasus, and then I kept tapping my Pegasus with free mats until I finally made my Pegasus from my horse. It took me forever though.
When you log in for the first time, and then you can upgrade it to an even better Pegasus later down the line. So the world is big, but it doesn't really feel like a world as much anymore as it used to be. It feels much smaller of a world than it used to be, because everyone has really good mounts. You can teleport around the map and so on. Then there's also stuff like Marnie Realm, which is a new addition that came
Yeah, it
last
sucks.
year,
Go on.
which basically made it so that you have your own individual grind spot every hour, which we just talked about, which basically means it also makes the game feel more instanced. Same with the new bosses. There's also new dungeons. There's a lot more instanced content nowadays, so I think the sandbox world feeling isn't really there anymore, but
It's fucking dead, bro. Why can't he just say that, bro? This was 8 months ago, and he's lying to himself and me, dude. And dude, I look up to you, Nico. Just tell me like it is, bro. If it's shit, it's shit, bro. If you look around and nobody's fucking fighting, you know what I'm saying? That's shit. This is even in before our this is the beginning of our downfall. Admit the truth. It will set you free. First, you must doom before you can goon. What? Okay.
it's
I'm
there's
sorry,
still
wait.
remnants of it. Also, I think let's talk about well, grinding and life skills in general. If you like
Wait, what?
long-term progression, and if you like seeing numbers go up and your silver go up and your character getting stronger, I actually think it's a great game to play. Again, you have basically infinite amount of content in there, and the same goes for life skills as well. They're repetitive, but they're very chill, and a
Infinite
lot of the
amount of
life skills you
content?
can literally do AFK too. So, you know, if you have something better to do on another monitor or something, you can do that too. Let's also talk about the combat.
You can
I
play
think
without
BDO's
playing.
combat is generally still the best in the industry. Every class feels really unique. It can be very technical at a high level, although, well, there's a couple of problems with that. Let's just say that. We will get into that in a second. But generally speaking, BDO's combat is actually still the best in the industry, in my opinion. If you like action combat, that is. I know for a lot of people it's a little bit too stressful, but there's a lot of abilities, there's a lot of combos, there's a lot of flowing. if you understand which ability.
I figured it out over the years. I couldn't figure it out. I will break it down to you. It's a fighting game. If you don't like fighting games, you would not like Black Desert Online. They took all the mechanics from a fighting game, then they made it into an action game, an action RPG. I don't know why anyone hasn't thought of this since then. It's very simple mechanics, but they took the mechanics, the grapple, super armor, iframe, forward guard. Those are mechanics from a fighting game. They took air attack, down smash. That's all from a fighting games, man. It's literally they took. Why reinvent the wheel, man? EverQuest 3. Steal BDO's combat system. I want to do a raid. I want to do a PvE raid in this combat system. Oh my god, that'd be so sick.
These flow well into each other. There's a lot like that, and I would highly recommend playing a lot of the action combat and trying it out, because once you're used to this action combat, there's very few games that have the same feel. And yeah, we can also talk about the PvE a little bit. There's basically grinding in a circle, or grinding endgame spots where you're not running in a circle, but rather just stand still. There is...
He's not really telling the game. Alright, we have grinding in a circle. We have grinding in a triangle. And when you get really high level, you get to stand still. Alright. That's the square grinding. You have a tiny little square thing. That's so true. Dekia 2, you're just... I go left or right, but it's not Sylvia. It's not silver efficient
now, which you can basically do once a week, I believe, and they give you actually pretty good rewards. Although, again, even the hardest difficulty dungeons aren't like comparable to PvE MMOs like Lost Ark or.
But if you get a Black Desert Online player to try to do them, fuck, we look dumb.
WoW or Final Fantasy. So if you're looking for endgame boss fights that are really difficult and competitive, I wouldn't really recommend playing this game at all. But if you do want a challenge, you can always go
the new ones
Black
are sick.
Shrine, which has a lot of different kinds of bosses that you can do, but for that you obviously need to first do the quest lines. So solo bosses here, I actually genuinely think are pretty well made. The only problem is the engine isn't. And you know what? I'll just talk about this now. The engine of BDO or whatever it is, whether it's the netcode or the coding in general, is super scuffed. Whenever the game requires you to have precise inputs, so that is very apparent when you play PvP, and it's very apparent when you play really difficult boss fights like these ones, in C7 specifically, it's really not worth it. It's really not worth it. The engine does not work properly with very specific inputs. There's a lot of desync, there's a lot of like weird bugs that happen, where you get hit in super armors and iframes. The boss is literally across the screen and still hits me.
What do you mean? You were clearly in his hitbox. Didn't you see the arrow I drew on the screen?
There's not even a window after, even if you do iframe it.
Dude, he was in it, by the way.
Where am I? And other things like
He thinks
that.
he got hit right in the back.
Not a good time, and I think the game is more easily.
He got hit
enjoyed
right in the
if you're
back.
little bit
He's
more
a fucking
casual
idiot.
About, you know, competitive.
That's why I
So
drew the
if you really
circle.
care about min-maxing a boss
He
fight.
thinks
or
he was here,
min-maxing
but he was
PvP,
really here.
I think this is not the correct game to do that in. I think there's so many limitations with the engine, and I think that
They're med-maxing PvE. This is not the game to do that in. Actually, I would like you to explain that to every single PvEer that is now on their 17th Pendebo and has a fucking spreadsheet for fucking everywhere. There's a fucking site that lets us spreadsheet our grind spots for us, where we all just do it secretly. Everybody was so spreadsheety that Garmoth.com survived. It now has a business. So I don't know. Actually, if you want to be a sweaty nerd, we have that. Now, you know.
It holds back the entire game, honestly. They just need to revamp the engine, I'm pretty sure. And also get rid of a lot of the resistances in the game. So as you can see down here, I have...
They did revamp the engine. Oh dear. And the next, yeah, don't worry. We even have central servers now, Nico. It's much worse.
Have stun, stiffness, freezing, 42% resistance, grapple 42, and so on. There is a certain degree where you can get rid of these resistances of people, but there's always, I believe, like I don't know what the percentage is, but there's always a base percentage where people can literally just resist your CC. So there's always RNG involved, and on top of that, you have a lot of desync and other buggy stuff that is obviously also pretty RNG. You can't predict, and it makes like very high competitive combat feel very RNG, and that's not good, obviously. It's very frustrating, actually. And that's obviously especially noticeable in PvP because there's two players being very fast and, you know, trying their best to kill each other, and there it's very apparent that a lot of the times nothing fucking works. So here's a little clip that I have. It's the only one I have left. It's not the best one.
Oh,
you
God.
can see that my character is over here, and my enemy, which is a Dracania, is over there. If you play that clip now, you can see I get instantly grabbed, although I was that far away from the character. That's because the game is not fast enough at responding to movement, so the game still thinks my character is over here because it's desyncing, and so he can easily grab me from very far away, although that doesn't make any sense. And this is something that happens not occasionally, this is something that happens all the time. You can get grabbed in your iframes, which by the way means invincibility frames. So you shouldn't be able to be hit or CC'd at all, but people still CC you in those. Super armor, same thing. Forward guard, same thing.
He's been holding on to this one for a while, boys. Look at this. Look at this look on his face. That is not a happy man. He's like, this is going in the video. This is going in the video. This is going in the video 3 years from now. He remembered. 3 years from now, when I shit on this game again, I'm gonna put that in the video. I love Nico.
There's just a certain amount of desync in the game that is always there, and you can't do anything about it. So it's just annoying, and if you're a very competitive player, I would recommend not playing BDO and playing another PvP game where, you know, combat actually works. And another thing that's a little bit sad is the open world PvP and the sieges and the guild versus guild stuff. It kind of made the game popular back in the day. It doesn't really exist anymore.
True.
People like Lakari or King of Allgape and all of these PvP scenes in EU, for example, with Enemy and so.
Who? The King of all who?
Sovereign, Leviathan, and all the drama that was with Odds and all of these like storylines.
Odds was cool.
That existed back then. It's not really the same nowadays. The player base seems to be much less invested in the PvP endgame. Although you can still do all of those things, there seem to be just very, very few people heavily engaging with it, and even less people very invested in it.
That is crazy. He's an OTK. I didn't know that.
From BDO. And that's kind of sad to think about, but back in the day it seemed like there was actually people were actually so invested. And even if you go to, you know, old school BDO Siege players today and ask them, you know, about stories back in the day, they will sit there for 30 minutes and they can tell you all the storylines that happened back in the day because people genuinely liked it that much. Not really the case anymore. So yeah, that's my point. One more quick thing before we get into the scoring, just as an example of how bad BDO's engine really is. FPS, so the more FPS you have in game, the more damage you do. And that should basically tell you everything about how the engine works.
We were talking about this
Because
earlier
there's so many
in
little
Discord.
oversights in it that just make everything feel a lot worse.
FPS,
And it
hey.
goes even that far, again, in very specific.
They fixed it already? No, not really. Not at all. Not at all. FPS equal DPS. There we go. Compare 144 FPS and 300 FPS, that's the same thing? I guess so, but if you compare 144 FPS to 30 or 40 FPS, it's like 10 times damage. So depends what you want to mean. If I fixed it, but they lessened it, I would say, a lot.
High-end scenarios, if you want to have optimal PvP combos on some classes, you literally need 200 FPS, or the combo doesn't work because it gives you attack speed. The more FPS you have, the more attack speed you have, and therefore the more damage you do. So again, in some scenarios, on some classes, you can't reach a certain amount of FPS, you cannot do the PvP.
As someone who played on a toaster for years and literally streamed with 30 FPS, I take offense to that, Crow.
Combos properly. You know, how does that even happen? It's always been like that, by the way, and they've never addressed it, unfortunately. So this is the scoring right now, but don't let this be too confusing for you. So
this
I'll
is
just
8 months ago.
really quick. So masterpiece games are games that at the time of their release were literally outstanding, and even years after that are still considered the best in the industry, which these two I just took as an example. I would also probably put in Vanilla WoW, which released in 2005, 2004, but that would just confuse people and they would think that modern day classic WoW is...
Why do people always hate on Bless, dude? I like how he threw Throne and Liberty underneath New World. The reason he's got it there is because he was the guy. He was the guy. Remember, he was the guy that was doing he was streaming the auto grinding. That's what made him big. He went and streamed the auto grinding for like a lot. Well, he was already big, but he was like the biggest streamer doing that, and everybody saw that and laughed. So he's got to throw it under the bus. I will say, Diablo 4 is 3 and New World is 3. New World is bad. Like really bad. Like the dungeons didn't even feel, I don't know. I don't know if New World is gonna be, I don't know, New World versus Throne and Liberty, I don't know, that's hard.
You know.
If Throne and Liberty ends up being worse than New World, that's gonna be crazy.
Is a 10, which it isn't, obviously. But yeah, just sort of as an example, and at the very bottom you can see Bless Online as a 1, Throne Liberty as a 2, although I still think Throne can go probably in one of these two categories.
Yeah.
I think actually in our version, when it releases in the West, it will probably be a 3 because they will be less pay to win. Because Amazon usually puts a little bit less pay.
Or, let's be real, in the last 8 months, Black Desert has gone from where he had it 8 months ago to fucking dog water. And Throne and Liberty has not actually moved up, but because of all the changes to the combat system, the fact that it's a new game, and also the fact that the game we play is absolute fucking dog water, Throne and Liberty gets what we call the grass is greener boost. Okay? So no matter what, we know Throne and Liberty is gonna be greener than dog water. For 2 weeks, exactly, Crow. We love those 2 weeks. They're free to play. I'll see you there in 7 days. Exactly. So for 2 weeks, we know that that grass will be greener. And because of that, you'll see this arrow trending upwards. That gives us, that moves us from bad to lacking. You know what I mean? Also, I will say the fact that he couldn't pick a genre is really discouraging. Nico. Alright. I don't even know what to say. Chat pointed it out, and I just didn't want to insult him too much, but I feel like he started the tier list for something else. He loaded up the video, and he was like, "Damn it, man! Let me throw the New World, Throne of Liberty, fuck, Diablo 4."
Pay to win in there than the Korean counterpart. But as it stands, this is what it is. New World.
He made the list during the video.
And Diablo, I put in 3. And BDO, I was very unsure of. At first, I wanted to put it in 4 because all of the systems the game has.
Arc.
Well, it has so many good building blocks. It has so many. Like, it has an open world, it has PvP, which has an arena, and it has battlegrounds, it has open world PvP, it has guild versus guild PvP, it has node wars, it has sieges, right? It has a lot of content. And for PvP, then for PvE, you have dungeons now, you have grinding, you have professions, all kinds of them, with fishing, and hunting, and cooking, and alchemy, and gathering, and whatever. And then you have even solo boss fights in the game. But all of these systems are compromised to an extent, meaning the PvP is really struggling because the engine is really terrible. There's way too much RNG in it.
He basically just said every single one of those things I just explained to you sucks. You can do everything, but it all sucks.
And there's also a lot of balance issues all the time. Even if you play the balanced arena, which is Arena of Solara, it still doesn't feel great. It still feels scuffed.
It's even better now.
Same goes for the solo boss fights. They're also scuffed. The engine can't keep up. There's a lot of weird things happening all the time. Same goes for professions. A lot of the professions literally just come down to you doing the same thing over and over and just progressing your gear so you can get more money from it. Life skills like fishing are basically completely abandoned, and you can, well, if you want to make any profit, you can't even do them. Grinding is also maybe the only thing that still works because it combines the really good combat system with casual environment, so the desync doesn't affect you as much and you can just progress in your own time, so that is good. But again, all of the systems, there's so many different systems in the game.
Grinding kind of does still work, kind of.
Good fundamentals, but completely underdeveloped, right? That's kind of my problem. Every system in the game has potential, but they're not using it properly. And a big part of that is also has to do with the pay to win, in my opinion, because some things are just, you know, you like artisan memories and cron stones.
How does he know all this and he's this smart, but he don't know how to go get a color webcam, dog? Just because you still got that black and white stick from the Windows 95 PC that grandma made the family computer in the year 2000 before you had to upgrade for the Y2K bug doesn't mean it's still good.
Enhancing related stuff in general is completely, it's actually impossibly frustrating because there's so many pay-to-win systems on top of it that if you're doing it without any pay-to-win feels a lot worse. Progression in general, because I think the game
they got rid of that.
In general very progression centered, and it's very difficult to
now it's just all garbage.
Appreciate good progression if there's a lot of pay-to-win systems. That being said, in comparison to older BDO, the entry barrier for pay-to-win is much lower, so there's much less items that you have to buy because they give them out, you know, with events and rewards and login stuff, right? So there's much less incentive or much less upfront paying for BDO.
That's so
much
true.
less of an entry barrier, but there's still a lot of ways you can definitely progress faster by paying. So that also kind of, you know, it always is a negative point for me, especially because they advertise it in the game too, and it's like, I don't know, it just seems really annoying and bloated, that too. That being said though, I still think
Go
BDO
on.
has the best combat in the genre, so it can't be a 4 out of 10. And I also think they have the best community management in the genre. There's actually community managers. There will be, you know,
Oh God, it's hurting so bad. We like our CMs. We love you. I did. Yeah. Hold on. Let me look at the list. Which one of you is watching? I know one of them is watching. We love you all. And he did say in the genre. So he's got to be right. Oh, right. Okay, boys. I think we're good. I don't think there's any CMs watching right now. They're gonna watch the video later. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah, I don't know about the. No, okay. Okay. No, anyways. So this was 8 months ago. That's what I'm gonna say. And we did lose JJ. Yeah. That's how I'm gonna talk my way out of that one. And then we lost all. They don't do events anymore for BDO. And then yeah. So everything that he just, like, a lot of what he just said makes the game stand out.
no, on Twitch.
Yeah, but I'll let him go on.
There will be like
They are, yeah, they are. Yeah, they. Are you there now?
literal game masters in game doing events with you. Stuff like that is very undervalued in the modern MMO scene.
He's
So
not
I
wrong.
also think this is outstanding. And also, just before we actually give you the score, if you just want a game that lets you progress in a chill way, maybe even while watching a movie on the second screen, and you just want to see your character become stronger slowly, just want to see your money go up, then I actually think BDO is probably a 7 out of 10.
Bro, what are you, IGN?
So just in that niche, the solo progression, do it at your own pace, no daily bullshit or very little.
Is it
kind
really
of
that close to
experience.
Super
I
Smash
actually
Brothers?
think BDO is good. I actually think you can play that
On
as
the
much as you
MMO
want.
scale?
There's infinite progression, and you can keep going forever. Great, right? As an overall game, though, I would put BDO at a 5.
Wait.
I think it's okay. I think
Bro, his ADD is stronger than mine. I'm having trouble, like, what just happened? What? So he is comparing it to Smash Brothers. This is the dumbest review I've ever seen. Okay. Fuck, Vessel, you're going in too hard. I actually like you, Nico. My bad, you see the react. I stand by what I said. Why are you comparing the apples and oranges? This apple's way bigger than this tiny little orange that I got from this little tree. But Vessel, that's a tangerine. What the fuck did you call me? Shit. This guy's more based than I am, but he doesn't know why. Holy. He's like, yeah, I mean, compared to Zelda, like, I don't know, man. Which Zelda? That first one? Yeah, after that, like, the other RPGs were garbage. I don't know.
a lot of the building blocks the game has are good. They're just underdeveloped. So here would be my top three things that I want to have changed in BDO. First,
It's not
which
even
they're kind of
comparing it to
addressing a little bit
RPGs.
already, is all of the item buff handout bloat. We don't need 15 events. We don't need.
Are you the reason that instead of fixing the game, they did this, Nico? Come to find out. Let me find out.
Different login rewards. We don't need daily special on top
I
of
want
it
the
with
free
battle
stuff.
pass. We don't need 50 billion different items that barely do anything. Like, you know what I mean? There's way too many things in the game, and
Dude,
it
where
always
is
happens with
Baldur's
older
Gate?
MMOs. But it's especially apparent in BDO, so that's one thing that I definitely want to see changed. The second most important thing would be the engine or whatever causes the desync, because the solo boss fights and the PvP would be incredibly fucking good if the engine would work properly. If it didn't feel like this scuffed, buggy, desyncy mess, and actually, and you know, maybe also get rid of the resistances on top of it, so you have even less RNG in the combat system. That would be really, really great. I would love that.
God, he's cooking so hard. I just want to let him keep going on and on, you know? Yeah. I want to also point out that I don't have a lot of what he's talking about because I even have to like run exit lag and I'm right next to the central servers in general. Like not right next to them, but I'm pretty close to the central servers like geographically. And so he's entirely right. Without exit lag, I can barely switch characters. And when I CC someone, they always end up behind me. But when I run exit lag, it's fine. And I'll be honest, I shouldn't have to run a third party software to just to play the game. So in fact, I hate exit lag. They're the worst partnership I've ever had. I'm not promoting their service at all. I promoted their product for years, and they actually they lied to me and charged me. Didn't even give me free service. Tech W. And since I can't play Black Desert without it, I still pay for this shit.
That would make the game so much better instantly.
Thank you, exit
Although
lag.
I would also say it's probably one of the harder things to fix, because if it's related to your
A-holes.
that's probably very difficult to redo. Although they're working on a new engine for Crimson Desert, but you know, who knows? That would definitely make the game instantly a lot better, those two things. And the last thing that is also, I find really important, is there's a lack of goals in the game. Not as in like, oh yeah, I want to get that item or whatever, but lack of...
Okay, man, I gotta say it, dude. This is why I knew NEEKO'S review would make me, yeah, midday, yeah. I don't want to say I'm getting smarter, but let's just say I know I'm not getting smarter when I look at the word in-game. You know? A meaningful in-game. And in case you're wondering what's missing, A, B, C, D. D, 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 ding, ding. The letter D is what's missing, everybody. So if you can't read or write, it's not your fault. Endgame is spelled E. N. D. Because it's the end of the game. Oh my god. Having to spell the rest of this is... Yeah. And so... when you see it spelled... It's just... Maybe... You know what? It's different in EU. Maybe it's different in EU. Honestly, I didn't think about that. Maybe in EU, they in game.
what do you do with the items? So as an example, back in the day, the main reason why I grinded was to then use my gear
To
in
beat up other
PvP
people.
and, you know, beat
Exactly.
other people with my gear.
100%.
Nowadays, it feels much more like you grind to grind faster. You know, you run in a circle just to run in a circle faster.
That's not true. I still grind to beat people in Guild League whenever they decide that I'm allowed to Guild League. Oh my god, he's right. It's just so I can grind faster, and I don't grind.
You, I don't know, go fishing or hunting just to make more money with hunting. It just feels like the goal of BDO right now is just to keep progressing. And I think for me personally, that is too little incentive. For me, I need something to look forward to. May that be new raids or dungeons or whatever. May that be actually good PvP? Whatever it is.
Boss
it needs
Blitz,
some sort
5
of
man.
thing to look forward to. Something
Okay,
to progress
I'm joking.
towards. Something you're looking forward to. That's what's lacking for me. And it's ever since I've stopped doing
Sovereign weapons were not it.
BDO, that's always been my problem. That's why I could never fully come back to BDO, because I just didn't see a reason. I just didn't see a meaning behind my grinding.
Boss Blitz was good, but it didn't fix the basic problem of the game, which is that everything in the game is squaring the value of every single thing so much because of that it's messing in the marketplace. And the whole purpose of BDO is to get silver, buy out the marketplace, and become stronger, kind of, in general. That's like the basic loop. And the marketplace is slowly just getting more and more and more scuffed because nobody gives a shit. And not only that, like, devils are just losing value for the same reason. It's like, it's less about availability and what's whatever and more about like the state of the game.
I just felt like I was running in a hamster wheel perpetually, and there was nothing, you know, changing that. So those are the three things that if BDO changed,
It gets
would
worse.
instantly put it into a 7 out of 10. Maybe even an 8.
God,
as
he's
I
so
said,
right.
I think BDO has all of the right things in place. All they need to do is work on their existing systems. They don't.
They actually tried to do this all. They tried to fix the hits. They moved the central server. They actually dude, they actually did a bunch of simplified stuff. They did everything on his list. They did every single thing on his list. But you know what they forgot? Dvorica's took the soul out of the game. Along with Dekia. And those two things combined just make it all suck. That's pretty much it. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, I don't want to grind Dekia anything. I don't have a Dekia 2 lantern. I don't think I ever want one. It's all kind of just... It's all yikes now, you know, Bob?
don't have to reinvent the wheel. They don't have to add new gimmicks. Everything that's in place, the solo bosses, the dungeons, the professions, the world, the PvP systems with arenas, node wars, all of those things. The massive, like, different kind of PvE stuff that you can do, from whale hunting to hunting lions.
Hard cap
and
guardian
whatever.
can't
You
do
can
that.
do so many things in the game.
Victim.
Just use your existing foundation and develop it further. Polish.
Pearl Abyss, he wants you to finish one thing correctly. Go back and just fix fishing. And then you got one done. And then go do another thing. Do you know what I mean? You gotta fix stuff. It's the fact. And if they were to like successfully do everything one thing at a time, it's a slow road, but as long as they fix fishing, I think we'll be okay.
Shit. Refine it. And the game will instantly go to a 7, maybe an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
That is my take.
After
So
fishing.
yeah, that was 100 hours of BDO. I will put it at 5 out of 10 for now. Again, with a lot of potential. And I also want to say that I don't want to put it ever below a 5 out of 10, because I do still believe BDO has always had and still has the potential to compete with the best MMOs in the industry, if they stop working on gimmicks and rather work on their, you know, foundation and refine them.
I mean, Smash Brothers better watch out, bro. Black Desert is on its way.
But that's my take. 100 hours of BDO, 5 out of 10. That might also be the highest rated MMO I've had on this channel. That I've officially rated anyways, which is kind of sad. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope this was helpful. And I hope for anyone who is looking for
Why
a
is he?
long-term
Who's making
progression-based
these
MMO,
comparison
you also
lists?
see that the game is actually pretty good. But for anyone else who's like me, who needs a little bit more incentive and a little bit more meaning, I would say you can try the game out. It's most of the time very cheap or even for free. And yeah, I think BDO has great potential, but it's not being realized right now. So yeah,
True.
thanks for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. There will be more videos like this. I'm not really sure what the next 100 hours video is going to be. I'm kind of debating between Monster Hunter World and Lost Ark again.
Wow, do you even like MMOs like Lekrashan said though? Because Guild Wars 2 is a masterpiece. I remember waking up almost losing sleep in my brand new position on my job. That was more addicting than like the finest girlfriend I ever had, and drugs at the same time. I used to shock off for a whole server. I don't know, man. He might not like the genre as much as he. Also, I feel like there's a little gap. Maybe you just really like Smash Bros, bro.
So if you have any takes on those, which game I should do next, feel free to put it in the comments as well. So yeah, have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. My name is NEEKO'S.
EverQuest 3 is
Peace.
in work, bro. I got my opinion. This is my opinion. I think that he's overall right. Even 8 months ago, for the most part, he could see that you were running in that in-game hamster loop. Now imagine how funny this does look to us now. It's actually crazy. The things I draw from this is, yes, Midday Nap, he does, I think, want a Smash Brothers MMO for some reason. And that I don't think Nico Tulo understands what you do with a tier list. You're supposed to compare it to other things that are like it, so you can be like, it's A or B. I don't understand his tier list. So I took that away. I did not think it was funny that he came back with 100 hours. That was cute. And MMO world, that's like saying I came back to glimpse at the game, and the fact that he gave it 5 still, more power to him. I thought he'd be super negative. Overall, pretty positive of the game, and all of his complaints were valid. They didn't fix it. Any of that stuff, in fact, it's all probably worse now. At least if you play one of the new classes, you'll have fun. Just don't play one of the old ones. But that's just me. Maybe I'm entirely based. What do y'all think? Drop me some comments. Laugh at me in Twitch chat. Nico. Come back to BDO, baby. Come back to the dying.